Hello YouTube, this is Savior20061, and I'm doing another little catch-up review. This time it is about the book Gerald's Game by Stephen King, of course. And it's an interesting deviation from his usual fare. It is essentially like Liza's story. It is a horror novel that focuses more on the psychological aspects rather than a supernatural demon. The story is about a woman named Jessie, whatever her last name is. She is in the middle of playing a bondage game with her husband Gerald, which is why the title is named is Gerald's Game. And eventually, she gets kind of tired of it because she doesn't like the bondage games. Not that I really blame her. But Gerald doesn't want to stop anyway, so he begins to commit what is essentially rape of his wife. And rather than letting that happen, I believe she kicks him in the balls. Okay, it is what it is. And so, I think she also kicks him close to the heart with her other foot. And so then he has a heart attack and then he falls over dead. Well, that's karma for you. So the novel basically finds Jessica trapped in the bed, handcuffed, trapped in the bedroom, handcuffed to the bed. No one knows that she's out there. She doesn't have access to a cell phone, obviously, because she's handcuffed to a bed. And she's totally screwed. And the novel basically sees her try to deal with a lot of her inner demons as she's trapped to the bed. She deals with her conflicts with her dad. She begins to have hallucinations, quote unquote, of a very monstrous figure standing in the corner, and she doesn't know whether or not the person is real. I believe she makes her a very interesting character in Stephen King's library of characters. She is very obvious. She is obviously a very feminist character. In the way that she talks, she has what seems to be kind of a pessimistic attitude towards men, and she believes that men have a very pessimistic attitude towards women. She actually there's actually this one joke comes up in the novel, a very terrible sexist joke towards women, and the joke is, "What is a woman? A life support system for a cunt." And it's not. It's a very terrible joke, but it's a joke that she heard sometime in her life, and this, along with the other Path of the Eclipse books, Rose Madder and Dolores Claiborne, because there's something about an eclipse that essentially ties the books together. They are all very feminist in theme. This one is about basically freedom from very misogynistic views, being handcuffed to the bed the way she is, just to satisfy her husband's sexual appetites. I believe Rose Madder was essentially about abuse, because the woman was getting the crap kicked out of her by her husband, and so she runs away. Dolores Claiborne, I'm not sure, because I haven't read the book. I haven't even really previewed the book. This is kind of a detective story, I've heard. It doesn't have any chapters or any captions or anything like that. Anyway, the book, did I like it? I'm going to have to say that I did like it. It didn't scare me the way that The Shining would scare me, or the way that It would scare me, because it's more of a psychological book. It's not about that supernatural cosmic horror that you're going to find in It, that you're going to find in The Stand. It's very much about getting into the mind of the character, and that's where the real horror lies. Dealing with this character, and only this character, and all of her inner voices and her inner demons. And of course the climax, well, it's still pretty good, because it turns out that the hallucination of the monstrous figure might not have been a hallucination after all. So anyway, the book Gerald's Game by Stephen King, I believe he wrote it in the 80s. It actually wasn't given that great of a score on Amazon for some reason that I didn't understand. So I guess, well, it's not going to be to everyone's taste. It's still going to be better than Lizzie's story. But then again, so is a root canal. Anyway, as I've said before, Gerald's Game, Stephen King, recommended. Pick it up. Let's go.